You cover Wells Fargo. They reported last week, Tim Sloan, newly the CEO, on that conference call. You've got a new piece out looking in more detail at that scandal continuing to unfold.
Yes, so I did this piece with two colleagues, Jeff Green and Kartike Marota, and we basically just, looked at this issue. And the issue is that in making these bogus accounts, these employees opening legions of these accounts, they were just trying basically to meet these aggressive sales goals and looking for really any way that they could possibly get there. And one of the ways they actually found sort of a perfect victim were these Latino immigrants. And what they did, they found that it was actually easier to create a bogus account for someone who didn't need a social security number, didn't have one. So instead, they would target these people because you didn't have to actually have a social security. You could just use these, what they call consular cards, as ID. And so in the end, what happened was the employees were making all these bogus accounts for Latino immigrants who had far less of an ability to sort of speak out, language barriers, things like that. And so, these employees sort of knew that by targeting these particular customers, they would not get caught as easily as maybe some other customers.
And just taking a step back from that, there has been such a push by the federal government and others to get the Latino community, many members of whom have been banking in the payday lending sector, for instance, to get into the traditional banking sector. This cannot be good news for those advocates for that kind of move.
No, we talked to some of them as well, and I mean, they just expressed really just frustration because, as you said, people like the FDIC, federal regulators have really been pushing banks, and banks themselves, Wells Fargo was a leader in this, in accepting consular cards as ID and as a way to get people away from really what are predatory lenders in a lot of cases. So it's really ironic to have a bank that set out to help that customer, in the end re-victimizing them.